you in the live instance. Okay, I'm showing the live instance configuration, how we have created. Okay, now if I go to the fixed asset, so in fixed asset we have the couple of things which we need to configure to create the fixed asset. Okay, first we will go to the fixed asset parameter. So in fixed asset parameter we will specify the amount, what is my minimum depreciation amount. Okay, so at here we have updated the minimum depreciation amount as 0.01. Okay, so if you want to do multiple acquisition in the same fixed asset, so you will enable this toggle button, otherwise you can keep it as no. Okay, it depends on organization to organization. Some organization they will do the multiple acquisition, and some organization they will not do the multiple acquisition. Okay, next we have consolidated capitalized threshold limit. So based on this particular threshold limit, what will happen, as we have given over here the value as 2000. So if the value is more than 2, I mean the fixed asset value is more than 2000, then the fixed asset will be created. If the fixed asset value is less than 2000, then it will be expense out. Okay, so at here we can see automatic create depreciation adjustment with the proposal. So in some case they will enable it. It also depends on the industry to industry. Some industry they want to post the adjustment entries even if you have the any prior date, any if you have mm, uh, any adjustments are there. So if you want to post the adjustments, so they can allow this particular toggle button. If they don't want to post the adjustment, so they will keep it as no. And if you want to calculate the depreciation on pro rata basis, I mean on day basis, then you can enable this particular toggle button, otherwise you can keep it as blank. Okay, so at here they have enabled some other toggle button as locking the asset of depreciation and post the disposal transaction in detail. Okay, so they have enabled new two functionalities over here. So once we have posted the depreciation entry, so it will be locked. That particular period will be locked. And once so in disposal entry it will post in detail. Okay, so in detail disposal entry which will be posted during the sale of asset or scrap of asset. Now if I so up to here it's a normal standard configuration. So in books, so we will map the our current posting profile which we have created inside the fixed asset posting profile. So we will map that particular fixed asset posting profile over here. Okay, and you can see at here the default posting profile is the same Gen FA, and the current book is SLSL. SLSL is nothing but service life straight line. Okay, so you can see over here service life straight line. Okay, we will go the default book more. Okay, you can see the fixed asset number sequence and the barcode number sequence. For the fixed asset we have enabled this particular toggle button as yes, and you can see we have the purchase order. To enable the purchase order, like for example the asset acquisition value from the purchase order, I mean if you want to acquire the fixed asset through purchase order, we will enable this particular toggle button. And these two are to creation during the product receipt and invoicing during the invoice. So once you have created the product receipt, the fixed asset will be created, and once the fixed asset is created and the asset during the entry line, like for example you may have the 10 lines and 10 lines having the fixed assets. So each line it will check, for each line level it will create the fixed asset based on the threshold limit value whatever you have given. Like for example if you have given one line as 10,000, another line has 1000. So the first line it will create the fixed asset, and the second line it will not create the fixed asset. Okay, as we have defined over here, you can see the capitalized threshold limit is 2000. Okay, so based on that it will be calculated. So once you have updated this particular parameter, so in this particular parameter you have updated couple of the important things, like we have updated the posting profile, service, our depreciation book, okay, and even our journal. Okay, so these are the things which you need to create before you are mapping over here. Okay, so so let's see, like for example, if you go to the depreciation profile, so in depreciation profile we have created one depreciation profile, that is service life straight line. Okay, so in this particular service life straight line, so we are calculating on the calendar basis, I mean the physical calendar basis, and on monthly frequency we are calculating the depreciation. Okay, similarly we have books. So in books, okay, in books we have selected the SLSS, that is the straight line service life, and if you want to calculate depreciation we will click on yes, and we will map the depreciation profile. Okay, and at here we are nothing, we are mapping how much is my service life. Okay, so if you go to the fixed asset group on top, so at here this is the fixed asset group will be created. So for each fixed asset group you can see this is my service life, based on that it is updating. Okay, uh, let me see, at here land is there. Yeah, now you can see, as I have given example for land, there will be no calculation of the depreciation. The reason behind why for this particular asset is no calculation of depreciation. The land value may increase but it will not reduce the value. Okay, so that was the reason there will be no calculation on the depreciation for the land. Okay, so we have a different groups over here. You can see we have computer hardware, we have computer hardware for business solution, we have computer hardware for the infra, we have computer hardware for the IT operations. Okay, so for each group, computer groups, okay, we have different number sequence. Okay, so at here you can see different groups over here. For each group we have defined the service life. Okay, so based on that it will be calculated. Now let me go a step back. So there is another fixed asset group setup is there. Okay, you can see there is the fixed asset group. So in this particular fixed asset group you can define whether it is a tangible and or not, and what is the fixed asset number sequence. So you can see you can see this is a fixed asset number sequence for BS. Okay, for infra, for IT op, for security, okay, for software. For each group there is an individual number sequence has been mapped. So based on this particular sequence the fixed asset will be created. Okay, from here also if I click on books it will open the respective whether I do want to calculate or not, and what is your service life. So those information will be populated. Okay, so and fixed asset posting profile, as I have already informed, so we will calculate the fixed asset posting profile over here. So we will configure the posting profile for the transaction type, acquisition, depreciation, write off or write down is nothing but the depreciation, or it depends on the terms, disposal of sale and disposal of scrap. Okay, so these are the major configuration for the transaction type which we will map it for any of the organization. Okay, in other terms also they may call as impairment. Impairment also, impairment is nothing but the depreciation. Okay, now you can see for each group we have given the main account over here as that respective main account, computer hardware cost. Okay, computer hardware cost, for the all the computers. Okay, and this is the computer cost. Okay, so each main account has been mapped, which is the capitalized account. Okay, for land we have given as the land, plant, machinery and equipment. Okay, so for vehicles we have given the motor vehicles cost. Okay, and for depreciation, so what we have given, if I select depreciation over here, transaction type, so you can see we have two main account and offset account. So at here we have the computer software accumulated depreciation, and the offset is computer software accumulated depreciation. Okay, so it is transferring from the accumulated depreciation to depreciation account. Okay, so for similarly we have map for the all the other posting profile. And for disposal of sale, if I select disposal of sale, so all it is mentioned as this one. So at here you can see we have disposal of sale, another tab over here. So if you filter with one of the group, okay, then you can imagine so how many posting profile posting value which we are creating over here. Let me select for example as okay, so you can see I have just selected for the one of the group over here, relationship. Okay, under disposal of sale, under disposal of sale I have selected one of the group. Okay, so you will update the posting value for all these particular transaction type. You have the prior period this year. Okay, prior period how much is my depreciation, and this year is how much is your depreciation. Okay, acquisition value, what is my acquisition value, and you are transferring all this to your motor vehicle cost, and from there it is transferring to the retained earning account. Okay, profit and loss account. So at here you will map all these main accounts. These main accounts will be provided by the business user. Okay, you should not worry about these particular main accounts. So you just need to ask, I want to map this particular main account, so what main account I need to map during the entry. They will provide those particular main account. Okay, so at here you can see we have the posting profile, we have seen it, and fixed asset group we have seen it, books we have seen it, depreciation profile we have seen it. So if you see each it is interlinked with all these, with parameter and even with the books it is interlinked. Okay, so we have to create and we have to map it over there. There is one more thing is there, like fixed asset reporting currency for the fixed asset. So this is the value which we run it. Okay, the reason behind this particular running this particular thing is, like for example, if you have a different reporting currency and you need to do the automation proposal concept, so we have one of the concept called proposals. Okay, during the transaction time you can able to see we have acquisition proposal or depreciation proposal. So if you want to run any one of the proposals, so for that we need to, it will ask you to run this particular reporting currency amount and the fixed asset book. So it's nothing but a wizard which you need to select the respective calendar in that one, and once you selected it, so the particular job will be run. Okay, so these are the major configurations. So once this configuration is done, then we can create our fixed asset. And one more thing, so if you want to classify the major type of the fixed asset, like if you want to classify some more information about the fixed asset, then you can specify the major type what is your major type of that particular fixed asset. Okay, it's an optional, it's not mandatory. If you want to create it, you can create it. Okay, now if I go to the fixed asset, so this is the all fixed asset master form. So at here you can able to view all the fixed assets, okay, which is acquired and which is not yet acquired. All the information will be available over here. Okay, let's imagine if I want to create a new fixed asset. So what I will do, I will click on new button over here for creation of fixed asset, and at here you can see we have the fixed asset group and fixed asset number is the mandatory field. Rest all is an optional. Let's see what is applicable, what is available in the fixed asset master. Okay, let's imagine I am selecting the fixed asset group as let's imagine I am selecting equipments. Okay, so once I selected the group, you can see the number is auto populated. Okay, and at here I can give the description, like for example equipment, what kind of equipment it is. So I can mention it is as okay, I just mentioned AC equipments. Okay, so after type, as I said that we have a major type. So if you want to classify that particular master, it would be display over here. You can map the major type of that particular fixed asset. So currently it is not there, so you no need to update this particular major type. And also you can see we have the type of fixed asset. So what kind of fixed asset it is there, so you can map that particular fixed asset type. Okay, and at here you can see we have quantity, unit of measure, unit cost. Okay, so if you know how many quantities are there and what is my unit cost and what is my unit of measure, you can specify over here, otherwise you can leave it as blank. Okay, so if you scroll down, so at here we have a technical information tab. So at here in technical information tab, so you can see we have a make, model year. So make is nothing but when who is the maker of this particular product, or so you can update those information. Okay, model, so if you have any model number or if you have uh, any serial number, you can update over here, and which year it is has been manufactured, you can update those information. So if you have any serial number, you can update the serial number. Okay, if you have any guarantee date for this particular product, so you can update the guarantee date or warranty date over here. Okay, and any technical information, 1 2 3, we have 3 technical information text box. Like for example, they may have the dimensions, and you may have color, you may have any variant, so you can update those technical information 1 2 3. Okay, and we have information 1 2 3, so you can update the same information over here. So it's an additional option to give the information of that particular fixed asset. Okay, so if I scroll down more, we can see we have the maintenance, and what is the next maintenance, asset condition. So these update, maintenance and maintenance, next maintenance, it comes from the maintenance master. So that is the completely asset maintenance module, that is entirely different. Okay, it's a very small module, but it's having a lot number of complications with the other things. Okay, next we have the insurance tab. So in insurance tab, if you can provide the who is your insurance vendor, I mean from whom you have purchased the insurance for this particular product, for the particular fixed asset. So you can select the insurance and insurance agent name, and you can give the policy number and policy expiry date, in policy amount, and how much is your insured amount, and is there any replacement cost is there, so you can update that. Okay, and you can update the last periodic value cost updated, those information about your insurance and policy information you can update in this particular insurance tab. Okay, Next we have location. So in location you can give more in detail, like in which location it is available and which room and with which department you have given this one. So those information you can update over here. Okay. Next we have leasing. So leasing information, this is completely entirely new module. So you will have the fixed asset leasing. Okay. So this is entirely new module which Microsoft is introducing, okay, which is in progress. So this report sorting, and you can leave it as blank, and if you have any reference and note of this particular fixed asset you can give it over here. Okay. And structure you can leave it as blank, and image. So in image you can upload that particular fixed asset image, and by clicking on this particular image, new image. Okay. You can browse that particular browser and you can upload the image. Like for example, at here I am uploading the one of the image. Now you can able to see the image of that particular uh, field. Okay, if you want to remove, you can click on remove button. The image will be removed. Okay, so after that you will click on save. So far what we have done, it we have created the fixed asset. Okay, and in that particular fixed asset master we didn't map any books. So far what we have created, we have just created the fixed asset. Now if you go to the books, so on top you can see the books over here. You can see by default the book has been created, and you can see the acquisition date is this, but there is no acquisition price, and this is the status. You can see not yet acquired. So this particular status of this fixed asset is not yet acquired. It means that the fixed asset is created, but it's not open for depreciation. It is not ready for the depreciation. Okay. Even if you run the you cannot run the depreciation for this particular fixed asset. Now let's see how we can acquire this particular fixed asset. So is there any doubt in fixed asset master form or in the configuration?
No, Gautam.
Okay. So we can acquire the fixed asset in multiple ways. Okay. Either we can utilize our fixed asset journal, that is one way. Another way, you can utilize your journal. From this also you can acquire your fixed asset. Okay. The third way is with purchase order. Okay. And the fourth way is through project management and accounting. Okay. Even fifth and sixth way is similar to the journal only, but that is vendor payment journal. From there also you can acquire, from customer payment journal also you can acquire. Okay, total we have around 6 different places. From there you can acquire the journals, I mean you can acquire the fixed asset. From customer payment journal and vendor payment journal also you can acquire the fixed asset. Yes, you can acquire it. Okay, for example I will show you how you can acquire from the customer payment journal and this one. Okay, so I'm just showcasing you. So if you go to the accounts payable, payment, vendor payment journal. Okay, so at here you are clicking on new. Let me select the let's imagine you are selecting vendor payment journal lines. Okay, now you can see over here when I go to the lines, by default I have the account type of the vendor master, right? So we have an option to change this particular account type. Either we need to add one more field as offset, I mean account type, or else you can directly go to the general tab. You can see this account type is vendor, right? You can change to fixed asset. Okay, Now if I go back to the list, now at here it will populate my fixed asset master list. Okay, like for example, now we have created equipment 003 is my fixed asset number. If I filter rich furniture, okay, you can see this is my fixed asset which I have selected, that is equipment. Okay, now in place of vendor name it will populate that respective uh, okay, let me update description and let me update the value. Okay, and at here let me select mine asset has my ledger account has cash. Okay, now if I post this particular transaction, so what will happen, so you will have your respective I mean your fixed asset will be debited, okay, and the cash in hand ledger will be credited. So I need to submit to the workflow to post this particular transaction. Let me approve it. So the way how we have created in the vendor payment journal, the similar way you will create in the customer payment journal and journal also. Okay, so if you know this particular process how you are creating in journal and or journal, so the same process will be applicable for the vendor and as well as the customer. Okay, now the workflow has been completed. Now if I post this particular transaction by clicking on post, I can post the journal. Okay, so once the journal is posted, then I will show you the accounting impact. So now I will go to the lines. So okay, if I go to the voucher, now you can see we have 4,500 which is fixed asset cost is going on, and we have 4,500 that is cash in hand. Okay, now if I go in another tab, Let me make duplicate. Okay, now uh, if I go to the fixed asset master, fixed asset, fixed assets, fixed assets. Okay, so if at here let me filter with EQU, and this is the fixed asset which we have created. So if I go to the books, okay, now if I go to the you can see, so this is the acquisition date. At here you can say the unit price is showing as 1223.49. The reason behind why it's showing as 1223.49, okay, so at here our currency is USD, our reporting and accounting currency is USD. Okay, so we have done the transaction in AED, and automatically what it's doing, it's converting from AED to USD, and this is the USD amount, and this particular currency is showing over here. Okay, so if you scroll down you can see the placed in service date. So this placed in service date is nothing but, like, let's imagine you have purchased the fixed asset on 10th February, and but you have officially started the placing in service on 20th February. So in that case you can change this particular place in service date. From this particular date basis you can calculate the depreciation. Now you can see the place in service date is 28th and the last depreciation run is 28th only. Okay, so it will not calculate depreciation from 19th to 28th, whatever the date is there, right? So in between of these date it will not calculate any depreciation. Okay, so that is place in service date, and rest all the information which is fetching from your depreciation books and configuration, what we have done it. Okay, so at here there is no purchase and sale of the invoice copy is mentioned over here. Okay, so if you are purchasing through, I mean if you are acquiring through purchase order, then the purchase vendor info, vendor account number, purchase order number, invoice number will be populated. So currently we acquired this one through journal, so that was the reason at here it is nothing is populated. Okay, so we have acquired the fixed asset through journal. Okay, that is through vendor payment journal. The same way, let me do once again from the journal also. For that you will go to the journal ledger module, journal. So you can create a new journal. Okay, then you can go to the lines. Okay, the second way, I just open one of the journal and have opened the lines. So at here also the same how we have done in the vendor payment journal. In vendor payment journal we went to the journal tab and we have changed the account type as fixed asset. Now you can see when you open this particular journal screen, you can see by default on your screen grid you can have the account type, and you will change the to the fixed asset, and at here you will select the respective fixed asset. Like for example I'm selecting as EQU003. Okay, and at here you are updating my, I'm updating my amount. Let's imagine 500, 5000. I'm updating the currency rate as a currency as AED. Okay, and let me select the cash account. Okay, so I just created another acquisition journal through journal. So at here what I did it, so by default I have the account type in the screen grid, I mean in the transaction grid screen. So I just selected the fixed asset, and I have selected the fixed asset which I want to post the acquisition. So I have selected that particular fixed asset, and after that I have given the amount in debit column. The fixed asset will be always in debit column, the amount, and I have selected my offset account. So once this is done, I can submit to workflow, and once it is approved, I can post my journal transaction. Okay, so this is a way of acquiring the fixed asset through journal. Okay, the concept is same for the vendor payment journal, customer payment journal, and journal. The way of acquiring fixed asset is same, there is no change. Okay, is there any doubt on this particular acquiring the fixed asset through vendor payment journal and journal? I have just shown in the vendor payment journal. So this is the journal which I have created. Let me submit to the workflow. Is there any doubt on this particular journal acquisition? Why? Because in interview they may ask you in how many ways you can acquire the fixed asset. So in that case you have to answer, you can acquire through purchase order, you can acquire through vendor payment journal, you can acquire through customer payment journal, you can acquire through journal. Okay, fixed asset journal is there, and you have the project management accounting, through project also we can acquire it. So let me approve this one. Now the post button has been enabled. Let me post this particular journal. Okay, now you can see the posting result of this particular journal voucher. The acquisition for the fixed asset for the book is already exist. Okay, as I said that if you want to allow multiple acquisition, so we need to enable one toggle button inside the parameter. If we won't enable, so it will not allow you multiple acquisition for that particular journal, right? I'm talking about this particular parameter. Let me show you that. Fixed asset parameter. Okay, so you can see allow multiple acquisition. If we don't enable this particular parameter, then what will happen? You will get this kind of error. Okay, so if you have if you don't, it depends on the industry. In some industry they may accept the multiple acquisition, in some industry they will not accept the multiple acquisition. It depends on the organization to organization. So at here this particular company, they are not accepting the multiple acquisition. So that was the reason you can see one acquisition transaction for one fixed asset. Okay, the same fixed asset, when I'm doing the acquisition value, it is stating as the fixed asset acquisition is already exist for this particular transaction. Okay, So that is the difference for this particular toggle button. Any doubt? So let me create another, or let me do one thing. Let me allow this one. Now let me refresh this particular page. Now let me post this particular transaction. Now it will be post as I have enabled that particular toggle button. Now you can see the journal has been posted. So if I go to the voucher, so you can see over here my fixed asset account is getting debited and my respective ledger account is getting credited. Okay, so the same way, if you want to acquire the fixed asset through journal to fixed asset journal, so in that case we will go to the fixed asset master, fixed asset module, journal, fixed asset journals. So at here you will have the fixed asset journal name as FAA or FAD or FDL. So you can select any one of the fixed asset name, and this particular fixed asset journal type will be post fixed assets. The journal type for this particular journal type will be post fixed asset. You can see post fixed asset is the journal type. Okay, so you can select any of the journal, so the journal type will be post fixed asset. So once you have selected this particular journal, if you go to the lines, okay, now you can see at here the view is completely different. So you have the transaction type, what kind of transaction you are doing. Let's imagine if you are doing acquisition, so you will select the transaction type as acquisition and it will display all the fixed asset. So I will filter with the fixed asset number, so I'm using the same fixed asset. Okay, by default the name and books information will be populated. Okay, now you can see the name and books information is populated. So at here you will give the acquisition value. At here I am giving acquisition value as 7580. Okay, and after that you will select the respective offset account. Let's imagine I am selecting the offset account as same cash account. Okay, so after updating this information you will click on post button. So once you have clicked on post button, the acquisition price will be posted for this particular transaction. Okay, now you can click on vouchers and you can able to view, see my cash in hand 7500, my cost has been debited, fixed asset is getting debited and respective ledger has been created. So far we have created 3 fixed asset transaction, 3 acquisition transactions. Okay, now if you go to this particular fixed asset master, okay, so if you go to the books, okay, now you can see the price it increased to 4622.07. So what happened now if I go to the transaction, okay, so if you combine these 3 transactions, the book value it has been added to here. Okay, is it clear? Acquiring, so far we have seen the acquisition, acquiring in from journal, vendor payment journal and fixed asset journal. So I believe you find little bit difference in the screen, but the process is same. Okay, if this is clear, then tomorrow we will see the purchase order, through purchase order how we can acquire it. Okay, so there is one more small configuration part is there that we will see tomorrow. I will tell you now only, but tomorrow we will run the process. Okay, so for purchase order process, to acquire the fixed asset through purchase order, okay, we need to enable some business rules for the fixed asset. Okay, for that we have to go to the procurement sourcing. Okay, inside procurement sourcing, you will go to the setup, fixed assets, and you need to define organization wide fixed asset identification, business rule fixed asset identification. Okay, so at here what you will do for each fixed asset, okay, for each fixed asset you will map the procurement category and type is fixed asset. Okay, organization wide what is your threshold limit for capitalizing it. I mean, when I say the capitalizing, it is nothing but the fixed asset creation. Okay, and you will map the fixed asset group id, and similarly at here also you will map the fixed asset group id in the description. And for legal entity wise you will map the same, the fixed asset group. If it is qualify, so what is the fixed asset group, it should be auto created, so you will update those information. Okay, so once you have updated this, then what will happen based on this particular threshold limit what you have mentioned over here, so it will check in the respective purchase order level based on purchase order line level. So based on that it will create your fixed asset. Okay, in purchase order also, okay, so if I open any one purchase order, okay, now at here in the line details you can see there is a fixed asset tab. Okay, this toggle button will be enabled and at here the fixed asset group will be populated. So this information we will see tomorrow. So tomorrow we will cover this particular purchase order acquisition through fixed asset acquisition through purchase order. Then we will see other type of transactions in the fixed asset and reports. Okay, if you have any doubts you can raise it.
No, Gautam. Clear.
Okay.